Nice long neck. And think about your shoulders now. Bringing the shoulders down if they're a bit hunched up by the ears. And aiming the shoulder blades towards each other, but then relax. So some people like to have their hands on their lap, but some people might find that makes their shoulders come up. So think about where you're placing your hands, thinking about your core as you're sitting, think about the positioning of your rib cage, lifting your breastbone. There are quite a lot of things to think about when we're just sitting relaxing, but it's all little tips to help with a better posture. So thinking about a long neck, and with all those things to think about, we might have tensed up a little bit. So let's just take a very long, deep breath into the top of the head and just release that breath. So let's just take a few more like this. So we're breathing in, we're drawing up energy, prana, and imagine taking it all the way to the top of the head. Pausing for a moment and then releasing. And just carry on at your pace. And then just take a few more breaths here and see if you can breathe in and out through the nostrils. And then let's take a few more breaths where we get in touch with our banders, pulling up our pelvic floor, sucking in at the navel. A nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, pull up into your banders. Release the banders as you breathe in. Banders, breathe out. Release the banders, breathe in. Banders, breathe out. Release the banders, breathe in. And just take two more like that. And then just let the breath go. Just let it go back to whatever normal rhythm you have. Keeping the eyes closed, let's rub the hands together. Cup the hands over the eyes. Blink your eyes open. You know this one all so well. It's a beautiful day stretch. So really open up, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, directing the elbows down. And the hands, and repeating. In breath, looking up, really stretching up, opening up to the potential of each new day. And releasing. One more time. Reaching up, opening up, and down. And let's just have a little wriggle with the shoulders, a little rolling round. Just being aware of how your hips feel, how your back feels, how your shoulders feel, how your neck feels. Just a little bit of a rolling And when you're ready, we're coming onto all fours. So you might just want a little bit of padding under your knees. And we'll just take a few variations from our basic tabletop all fours position. So really be aware of your hands, spread your fingers, make your hands very strong and secure. And we'll just start off with a few little wiggly bits. So just some nice tail circles. So just aware of how your lower back feels this morning. Circling the other way. And then we're going to take one arm and just raise the arm and looking up and then bringing the arm back down. And we'll repeat with the same arm, we'll repeat 3 more times. So we can work with the breath. In breath, as we get that stretch, out breath, coming down. Try to be aware of what's going on in your shoulder and shoulder blades. Try to be aware of your breath. Last time. Bring the hand down, have a little wiggle side to side, and then we'll take the other side. In breath as we reach up high, up breath, coming down. Feel like your arm is beginning to glide. Glides up and down with the breath. Last one. Have a little tail circle. Now you might like to just move your knees just a little bit further away from you. Not very much, but just to give you a little bit more length. And we're going to tuck the nose in towards the knee. So just lifting one knee, taking it in towards your chest and taking your knees in the direction, your nose in the direction of your knee. And then keeping the foot close towards your buttocks, slowly taking the leg up. So if you have a look at the screen, you can see that my foot is quite close towards my my buttocks. So try not to have the leg out straight unless you don't like deep knee bends. Okay, so we're going to take, here I am still holding on. I hope you're still holding on. Press through the hands to give you the support. And we're going to take a couple more. So out breath, curling. In breath, stretching up. Now try to press the hands down and feel between your shoulder blades. Out breath as you curl. In breath as you take that foot up. This is into tiger pose. One more. Out breath, curling up. In breath. Press down with the hands, really make the arms work. We can just take a little circle with the ankle, round the arm away, and bring the knee back down. Have a little wriggle there. So quite a lot of work on the hands and the wrists, but we'll move on to the other side. So when you're ready, you know what to do. Curling on your out breath and stretching that foot up on your in breath. Take a couple more. Curling and stretching. Press with the hands, squeeze between the shoulder blades. And last one. Hold in there, squeeze in between your shoulder blades, press hard with your hands, quick tail circle, ankle rotation, and down onto all fours. We're tucking the toes under, pressing hard through the toes, pressing hard through the hands, lifting the knees, just let the knees hover, so really pulling at the navel, and we'll come into our down. So down dog, try to get your shoulders away from your ears, look down, looking towards your navel, and really press hard with the feet, press hard with your hands. Take a couple of breaths. And from here, we're going to walk the feet slowly, slowly forwards, very slowly forwards to our forward fold. So maybe your knees are bent, maybe you want to have them very bent, whatever you want. Feel your bottoms lifting and your tummy's coming in. Just let your head hang. Just let go of that breath. And when you're ready, slowly, slowly uncurling all the way up to standing. Just checking on your posture for a moment. Samastiti. So if everything's slipped a bit, tighten your buttocks, draw in at your navel, squeeze the rib cage in and release the shoulders. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in from here, bring the palms together and look up. Lovely stretch. We're coming down, all the way down to a forward fold and looking towards your navel. From here, take your hands to halfway up your shin, lift your bottom higher and lift your chest. See if you can squeeze between your shoulder blades, and then we'll come back down into a forward fold. Bending your knees really deeply now. If you can get your thighs on your chest. And we're going to step back into the plank. Try and take your shoulders away from your ears, from your plank. Really press hard, press your heels away. A little bit of strengthening going on this morning. Into down dog. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Looking down towards your feet or in towards your navel. Press as hard with your hands as your feet. Take a couple more breaths. Slowly, slowly walking the hands and the feet towards each other until you're in your forward fold. Take your hands up towards your shin. Lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. So we're making what we call a halfway lift. And then slide back to a forward fold. Bend your knees really deeply. See if you can press your hands onto the mat. Step back into your plank. When you're in your plank, really lift your bottom if it's sagging. Press your heels away from you. Press your hands hard into the mat. Hold on there, one more breath. Really feel like you're pressing the floor so hard you're going to try to make a hole in it. Okay, one more breath into down dog. Take a couple of breaths there. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Slowly, slowly, we're coming down onto knees. And from here, you can either come onto your back and hug your knees into your chest, or you can take your knees as wide as your mat, bring your big toes together and come into what I call a wide-legged swan pose. I know in some styles of yoga, they call this pose actually child pose. So just wherever you are, whether you're lying on your back or you're in this, what I call a wide-legged swan pose, just pause for a moment. And then very slowly, we're coming up to all fours. Have some more tail circling. And we're going to now come down onto a seated posture. And we're going to take this, which I just call a little bit of a spine stretch, relaxing forward. So aiming your knees in towards your armpits. And before you slump forwards, try to get a bit of length. So pull your tummy in, lift your chest. So you can get that little squeeze between your shoulder blades for a moment. And then when you've got that lovely length through the body, allow your body to come forwards by hinging at the hips rather than just slumping forwards. We're trying to keep the length and we're trying to hinge at the hips. When you've gone as far as you feel you can go with a straight back, then relax forwards. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here. Releasing that breath. Pull your tummy in and see if you can ease your way any further forwards. And then coming up sitting. So the next posture that we're going to do, if you've got a block, you might find that you quite like to use this. So you'll need to look at the screen just for a moment. We're going to start off in our bridge or our 2-foot support pose position. Hope you can all see me there. But what we're going to do this morning, we're going to take a block or a book, it doesn't really matter, and place it under your hip. So it's not at the back of the waist, it's right under your sacrum. And this will allow you to get deeper into this opening in the chest by squeezing your shoulder blades together. So if you continue to look just for a moment, you can see what I'm going to do next. Then I'm going to stretch the legs, take the arms over and stay here for a few breaths, and you'll find you've just got beautiful opening and stretch through the body. If this doesn't feel very nice for you, bend your knees back so your feet are on the floor. So let's all take up our position, slipping something under your hips. So your question might be, how high should the block be or the foot? So we're going to see if we can actually get it a little bit higher in a minute. So just a normal size block or book at the moment. And if you feel really stretch your legs out, see how that feels. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other, so you're really getting a lovely opening from shoulder to shoulder in the chest, and then take your arms up. They don't need to be straight, they can be sort of sideways, whatever works for you. And let's just stay for a moment and really breathe into this posture. Really filling up your lungs here. Really opening yourselves up. And if you wanted to, you could push your heels away as well and just get a little bit of activation in your legs. That's kind of an option. You could try and stretch your arms a little bit further away from you. So 2 more really deep breaths there. And then when you're ready, slowly bring your arms down by your side and bend your knees. So you've got the option now. You could either take your block away, repeat the process, or I go for higher. So I'm going to use a smaller block and I'm going to put that underneath as well. So it might be too high for you, or you might absolutely love it. Reorganize your shoulders once you've got your block in place. And then slowly stretch your legs out and see how that feels. If that feels just perfect, take your arms up, push your heels away, and breathe. So we've got quite a deep back bend going on here, but we're still kind of aware of the upper back as well. This might be too strong if you have got a weakness or issues in your lower back. So you need to decide what works best for you. So another couple of breaths here. Really feel that lovely opening through the front of the body. And then when you're ready, bring your arms down by your side. Bend your knees so your feet are on the floor. Carefully slip out your blocks. You might feel the extent of that back bend there, lower back bend. So hug your knees into your chest and just easing your back. So hold on to your knees or behind your knees, or just put your hands at the back of your thighs and just make really nice big circles. Easing out there. And if you feel in the mood, we can turn it into a little bit of rock and roll. So you can hold on behind your legs, or if you're more used to it, you can do it with no hands. So just rock and roll. And if you don't get up at all, you're just moving your knees backwards and forwards, really doesn't matter. Try and stay steady with your breath. We'll take a few. Rock and roll this morning. And then we'll come back to our seated posture. Well, it wouldn't be right without taking a boat pose. So if you like to take yourself into this nice straight back position, and then we take a bottom balance, and you know what comes next. If your back doesn't feel strong enough this morning, just bring one foot down and take one leg up. Otherwise, really engage your core, and we'll take one leg up. Just see how that feels, getting a little bit of balance there. Pushing the heel away if you want to, or just to make a change, you could point your toes away. So whatever you feel, just try both out while we're here. The same on the other side. Push the heel away, point the toes away. What do you think works for you this morning? It's good to try things. And then we can take both legs up. Are we ready to really engage core? And we'll take our boat. So decide whether you're pointing your toes away or toes towards your head. Holding on there, you might like to take your arms out. Holding on, holding on. One more breath, well done. Coming down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. And rolling over onto your knees, coming into all fours. Circling the tail. And now we're going to take the thread the needle pose. So we're going to take one arm up If you're not sure, just have a look at the screen. Taking the arm up, sliding it through, aiming your shoulder if you can on the floor and your head. And we're going to repeat that 3 times more. In breath with the same arm. In breath, taking the arm up. Out breath, spreading through. In breath, taking the arm up. Spreading through. Breathe in as you reach up. Out breath, threading through. Last one. Reaching up. And threading through. And if you're comfortable there, is comfort the right word? We'll stay there. Your supporting hand, you can stretch out in front of you along the floor now, if you want that extra stretch. Hold on there for a few breaths. And then bring the supporting hand back. Push yourself back up onto tabletop position. A little wiggle, and we'll take the other side. In breath as you reach up, and out breath as we thread through. Just keep steady with the breathing. Last one. Let's hold it here. And maybe the supporting hand we can stretch out. An extra stretch there. Coming back onto all fours. We're going to come into a down dog. So taking your time, tucking the toes under, really pressing hard through the toes, press hard through the hands and building some strength into your down dog. Try to get your shoulders away from your ears. Pull your tummy in. One more breath there. Moving into the plank position. So again, pull your rib cage in, press with your hands, press with your toes. From here, we're going to come all the way down onto the mat. So try and move your body weight a little bit forwards if you can. Let your elbows bend and coming down. When you arrive on the mat, flat on the mat, make a pillow with your hands and we'll have a nice little hip roll there. And we're going to take some baby cobras. Quite a strong back bend. We're really going to try to engage the muscles and not use the hands. So we're going to take what are called baby cobras. We're not coming up very high. So stay looking down. Take a nice deep breath in and push your pubis in towards the mat. Lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together and bring your elbows really close in towards your body. Take a breath. See if you can lift your hands. So you're really engaging those back muscles. Place your hands back down and release the head down. Tuck the chin in. Take a breath. And we'll do that again. So try not to use your hands. Press through the pubis. And it's almost like you're trying to push your chest forwards as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. You might not feel you coming up very high. That's fine. Lift your hands, test out those back muscles. And slowly down and relax. Take a breath. And last one. Pushing the pubis into the floor. Imagine bringing your chest forwards as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your hands and then place them back down, pressing your elbows in towards your body, pressing your hands in towards the floor, and just lift up a little bit higher. But just notice at what point your shoulders have hunched up to your ears. Take your shoulders down, bend your elbows and bring them really close into your body. I feel like you're pushing your chest forwards. And imagine that you've got that piece of paper between your buttocks that I talked about earlier, squeezing those. And slowly, slowly, slowly lowering, making a pillow with your hands. Have a little hip roll. So from here, we're going to take the hands and we're going to move them alongside the body. And you can put palms facing down. Head is either on the mat or on a block, or just looking down, whatever suits you. And we're just going to lift one leg followed by the other, coming into a lotus position, locust position, and lower the legs. Take a breath. I'm going to take that again. So nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, just lift those legs. Don't worry if they don't lift. Takes a bit of practice sometimes. And then lift the arms up behind you and lift the chest. Start lifting the chest. If this is too strong, just come back down and relax for a moment. Otherwise, we're holding here. Try to lift the chest by squeezing the shoulder blades together. One more breath if you're fine here, and slowly, slowly down. So you have a choice. You can either lie on your back with your knees into your chest, or if you prefer, you can come back into this wide-legged swan. So give yourself a moment. Take a few nice, steady, easy breaths. And slowly coming up, and whether you're on your back or your front, we'll all meet back in tabletop position. When you get to your tabletop position, do some nice tail circles. Circle the other way. Another down dog coming up. Tucking your toes under. Pressing hard with your hands. Really look at a good position of your fingers all spread out, giving you extra stability. Tucking your toes in and really press hard through your toes. Pull up into your core. Press hard with your hands. So you're really engaging your muscles into your down dog. Take your shoulders away from your ears and try and draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Take a few breaths there. And you can make it even better. And coming back down onto all fours. From this all fours position, I'll just turn around this way. From our all fours position, we're going to tuck the toes under and just come into a little squat. So we're just giving the toes a bit of a stretch there. I know it's not everybody's favourite. And just see if you can place your hands onto your knees to get a balance. And then see if you can use your core, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and see if you can balance there. And if you're still fine, we can do no hands. Still fine? Take your arms up. Well done. Keep your balance. Can you look up? Ooh, a little bit dodgy. From here, we're coming down. And we're going to place the hands behind. So we're coming into this position. Now, if you've got short arms, this is where a couple of blocks might come in handy. Okay. I don't need them. My arms are very long. So you can have your fingers pointing forwards or you can have your fingers pointing back. It doesn't really matter because we're going to change it around. Okay, so I've got my fingers pointing forwards at the moment. That's kind of the natural position that suits me. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together to really open up the chest. Press your hands down. So maybe you've got your hands on the block. Press your hands down into the mat and really squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now keep that action. Start to press your feet really hard into the floor. Press with the hands, press with the feet, and lift the hips. So we're making a tabletop position. And slowly, slowly down, swinging back a little bit towards your hands. So maybe you'd like to take that one again. So pressing hard through the feet, pressing hard through the hands, coming up. Now keep squeezing through the shoulder blades. Lift your bottom high and higher. And slowly down and maybe swing back a little bit. Take a breath. If you don't want to do this again, you might like to lie on your back and hug your knees into your chest. Otherwise, we're going to take it again and we're going to try to stay so stable that we can actually cross one leg over the other. So you might like to look at the screen if you're not sure about this. So we're pressing through the hands, squeezing the shoulder blades together, drawing the elbows close in towards your body. Press through the feet. When you get to your tabletop position, you can maybe lift one leg without dropping your bottom. So we're really working the arms here and back and back. And one more time. Other leg. So up you go. Press through the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades together, press through the supporting foot now, and just see if you can pick that leg up and cross it over. Hold on there, and cross, and down, hug your knees into your chest, circling your knees in one direction, circling the other. Slowly, slowly coming up and take a little bottom balance. So just hold on there for a moment. So we're going to stretch the legs out and you've got a couple of options here. If you can reach your feet, you might like to stretch one leg and then the other. If you can't reach your feet and you've got something handy, if you've got a strap handy, you can hold on. And if you don't like either of those options, you can just hold behind your knees and make happy baby and just wave your legs around. So they're the options. I'm going to hold on to my feet and I'm going to stretch one leg out. So I'm really thinking about using my core, stretching the other leg out. We've got a little balance going on there. You might not have straight legs, you might have bent legs, it works just the same. And if you want to, you can take your legs apart. You bring your legs apart, cross the ankles and back to sitting. It's just lots of options. It's just sort of playtime today. Coming back, cross the ankles the other way, sitting down. So you choose what you're doing at this moment. We'll just take one more. And back. Good. And I'll meet everybody sitting. Doesn't matter how you're sitting. We'll just sit. Have a little roll with the shoulders. Just a little reset sit. Breathe into the top of the head. And releasing. Feel into your neck, feel into your shoulders. So we're going to take another posture, which is another back bend. It is quite a strong back bend, but we have options here. If you have had enough of kneeling, as we will be kneeling in this position, we will be tucking the toes under or putting them flat. The option is to do this posture standing. It's different, but it's the same sort of action, opening up into the chest. So you could be standing, placing your hands down into your sacrum, aiming your shoulder blades to your elbows towards each other, just as we've been doing in other postures, and then lifting your chest. You could push your hips forwards then if you wanted to. So that's an alternative if you really don't want to kneel anymore. Otherwise, we're going to come into kneeling position and we're tucking the toes under. So the first part, before we actually bend all the way back, we're going to take camel pose, Ustrasana. So the idea is to try and push the hips forwards, but also to lift the chest. So we're going to take the arms out sideways, and you're going to turn to your right and take your right hand to your right heel and take the other arm up. And then come forwards, and we'll do the same on the other side. So try not to let the hips slide back. So we'll repeat this a couple of times, twisting around, see if you can reach your heel. Coming forwards, pushing the hips forwards, twisting around and back. Okay, now we're going to take the arms up, reaching up, push the hips forwards, and just let one arm, let the right arm come down and see if you can touch the right heel. And then bring the arm up, looking up. Same on the other side, just let the left hand drop down. See if you can reach the left heel. And back up. If you want to have a breather, just come into a seated posture and then fold forwards. Otherwise we'll carry on. So we are going to reach up, take the right hand to the right heel, you can find it there. At that point, see if you can push your hips forwards. Now we're going to take the other hand back. This might be more than you want. You might just have your hand coming into the small of the back. If you're continuing to the heel, push your hips forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and you can look forwards. Keep that squeeze with the shoulder blades, keep the hips pushing forwards. If you like the full camel pose, you can look up or you can let your head drop back. So wherever you want, but take care with your neck. Keep the squeeze going on in your shoulder blades. And then bring one hand onto your thigh, other hand onto your thigh. And we'll sit back into our child pose. And if you prefer, you can come onto your back. So either stay in your child pose or come onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. And we'll all meet on our back. And we will come to hugging knees into chest. And then we'll take Apanasana. So hugging your knees into your chest and slowly peeling your upper body off the mat. So you're drawing your nose towards your knees. And then try to keep your neck long as you replace your upper back and your head on the mat. Take a breath. So you might just like to stay here and relax for a moment. Otherwise, we'll take 2 more, Apanasana. So nice deep in breath. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Slowly peeling your upper body off the mat, bringing the nose towards the knees. Slowly releasing. And last one, nice deep breath. Draw the knees into your chest, peeling the upper body off, nose towards knees. Hold there for a moment. And releasing. Bringing your feet onto the mat. If you've got a block handy, you can put it between your knees. Take your arms out sideways, palms facing up. And from this position, we're going to take our lying twist. So you're pushing your knees in towards your block as you move your knees towards the floor. They don't need to touch the floor, but try and keep your shoulders on the floor. Knees touch the floor, it doesn't matter. Shoulders, keep them on the floor. And let's just move side to side. You can let your eyes close now if you want to and try to get involved with the rhythm of your breathing. Just nice and easy now. Maybe you like that stretch and you want to hold it. Keep hold of your block between your knees. Feel your shoulders on the mat. Squeezing your shoulder blades in towards each other with a nice openness in the chest. Nice and easy. Moving to the other side. Just when you're ready, feel your shoulders on the mat. Feel with this openness in your chest, how you can breathe deeply. Breathing in prana, breathing in energy. And then bring the knees back. You can release your block and you can bring the arms down alongside your body. Stretch your legs out and we'll come to Shavasana. If you prefer to have your knees bent for Shavasana, then do. settling into your Shavasana pose, your relaxation pose. Again, have a little check on your shoulders. Nice open chest, palms facing up. Let your legs roll out, away from each other. And let your eyes close. And this morning we're going to use a little mantra. The mantra is, I breathe out and I relax. Just keep repeating that. And as you repeat, breathe out and I relax. Start to feel your whole body relaxing and resting from all the work we've done today. Breathe out and I relax. Stay focused with the breath. So begin to deepen your breathing now. Gradually bringing movement to your body. Just taking your time, come out of your relaxation. Some people like to roll onto their side while they sit up. Come up really slowly. Taking a moment when you arrive in your seated posture, just taking a moment to observe the result of your yoga practice today. And when you're ready, just let your eyes blink open, taking your hands up towards the ceiling, bowing forwards. And again, take your time. Nice in breath and a nice slow out breath. And again, reach to heaven, touch to heart, and bow to the earth. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.